Welcome back, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, kids and children of all ages, whatever you are. Welcome back to the PEL Contenders. We've had 2 games down. We've had 2 fantastic games. Of course, InsideGames, Game 1, dominating performance. Then Game 2 went over to Milky Way in the open field ending. Now we head over to Miramar, of course. And we look at the overall standings after that last game. Couple of little bit interesting changes. Milky Way moving into 9th.
Which they needed.
Which they definitely did need. Airstation Mike moving back up into kind of 4th. You know, saying to the rest of the teams around them, look, we're not over and done with it. We are definitely not dead weight, guys. We are going to maintain our strong position.
Yeah, and Unity, who had a really hard game in that last game, they fall down into 6th place. But that does push ELGIGANTEN down as well. So, I mean, I think going into Miramar, I want to see how Milky Way do. I want to see if this can be a consistent thing or if it was just, you know, some kind of a fluke. BetterLuckNxTime, they did fairly well on their worst map, which is what we, you know, just had.
Yeah.
So they're certainly going to be one to watch. And of course, Northern Lights, who... You know, they lasted kind of a while in that last game, and by that I mean they had one player left sort of right at the end. That was Deep, who just ended up getting taken out. So I think those are going to be the teams that I'm predominantly watching. At this point, teams like PG18 and InsideGames have really proven that they have a solid a solid spot at the top. So it's going to be those teams who have that risk of falling down, moving up, taking those kind of middle placements. Those are the ones we want to see just how far they can push it and how consistent they can be with that.
Yeah, definitely. When we are looking at the teams that have performed best in Miramar up to now in the final stage, Jokers have gotten 80 points in 10 games. That's an average of 8 points per game. InsideGames have gotten 76. 3D Max have gotten 73. And Quick Math have gotten 71. So those are the 4 strongest teams. When you're looking at the weakest teams, Team Oops, they've only gotten 10 points. In 10 games, so that's an average of 1 point per game. You have, and then actually kind of the weakest after that is Tempest. They've gotten 33 points in 10 games. So those 2 teams are going to be the ones that will maybe look to kind of pick up their points in Miramar and prove that they do have something to give in this map.
Certainly going to be something to look for. Well, now we're just seeing all of the teams start to situate themselves. PG18 going straight for Valdemar. You know, there's been a couple of Miramar games where we haven't really seen anybody going down for there, where generally we do have at least one team. Well, so they've decided that that's where they're going to be heading. Yeah,
PG18, they normally head towards around Puerto Paradiso, but because that plane trajectory was way more to the west, that they didn't feel it was kind of worthwhile. Now, we do see a lot of teams kind of instantly popping off against each other. Tempest firing shots in the direction of Airstation Mike, because Tempest just landed a little bit quicker than Fake at least. Airstation Mike, they're spread out. The Phase 1 circle is central. It's nice to see a normal circle, no super hard shifts. Of course, it's only Phase 1, but you know what? It feels good, man.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, all of these teams, they're going to basically be figuring out which, compounds it is they're going to want to take. They're going to... Obviously, this early in, it is a little bit of a gamble where you decide to go to, but you do, for kind of obvious reasons, see that it is the teams that manage to have good, solid compounds where they can station themselves are the ones that do fairly well. And being such a mainland...
center
circle that's not, you know, we've got a little bit of Los Leones in there, but not the whole city. So there's nothing hugely threatening and risky about this circle. It's just going to be about, okay, these teams kind of, you know, sorting themselves out, figuring which buildings it is they're going to start taking. And then I think the primary rotations will come once we actually figure out where the circle is going to be going as far as direction goes, because that's when they're going to have to up and leave those compounds.
Yeah, definitely. There's 100% that element. It also comes down to the fact that around 12 of the 16 teams are inside the circle. You have Milky Way, PG18, Last Crew, and Jokers are outside the circle, but even then they're not far away from it because it's so centralized. And you could even say the guts of InsideGames are inside the circle now. So yeah, it's when this Phase 2 really shows itself is when we're going to see the more harsher rotation. So I'm expecting a quiet 5 to 6 minutes as we see these teams just kind of settle, loot up, and then plan their rotations and plan their game plan. What I like about Airstation Mike is you have ToWzErA, who's
I was thinking the same thing.
Is on his own, and you have the rest of Airstation Mike down to the kind of east of them, past Graveyard. And that's normally what Airstation Mike like to do. They like to have a bit of a scout, but not all the time. They make it selective, and I really think it's a bit of a wise choice in this map because nearly all the teams are inside the circle, so the rotations aren't really going to catch out ToWzErA.
I think the particular thing about what ToWzErA is doing is it's up towards San Martin, where he's going to kind of assume there's going to be a few more of those teams. So he wants to have a look, see who's going to be there, see where their competition is, where the clearest path for a rotation will be if they decide to make that. So I think that's the important thing about what he's doing. And that just leaves the rest of the team. They sit back a little bit. They don't have to rush into anything just yet.
They don't.
And, you know, they can, you know, wait. Well, actually, now we're seeing some...
Okay, cool, guys. We'll just have to... Well, I was going to say we were going to have to do a bit of radio casting, but we are back into the mix as Odstrelovac going to have to dance around those bullets being fired by Northern Lights. Northern Lights down on the south side, just edging into the circle. And we have Odstrelovac and the rest of the InsideGames are a little bit further ahead inside the circle. You have Milky Way in ToWzErA on the edge of the circle. PG-18 are... What these is kind of ahead of the rest of his team. But if I was PG-18, I'd actually make my way into the circle a little bit more to the west side, maybe in through Monte Nuevo, because it's going to be a little bit freer.
Yeah, it's a very clear route for them there. They don't want to be following straight up Milky Way's backsides. And Monte Nuevo, it's a little bit more open, as you say, especially as the other teams kind of moving in a little bit central or a little bit more central than where they are. You know, Tornado Energy, 3D Max, there's some of those teams doing that. Actually, we're starting to see Airstation Mike doing that too, but getting our first kind of main gunfights here with Furax going up against the members of Tornado Energy. But in the meantime, Wookie Wookie was able to bring Sampula down.
Yeah, YMCA are split up in a 2-2, and that's kind of gone against them for now. Furax got a little bit caught out in the rotation as a team, and Tornado Energy turned it on their side. Phantom and Nokia are in those buildings across the road, but Compa, Elia working together quite nicely. Now, Clib on the side of Tempest. In the group stage, he looked so dangerous for his team. In the final stage, he's fallen down a little bit individually as a player. Tempest as a team, they still have a lot of strength, a lot of potential. On the side of Miramar, as I said, they're kind of, the second lowest team for points. But they've also pulled in strong performances on Miramar in the group stage. So a little bit hit and miss at times.
Yeah. And I think kind of going back to the fact that there were, getting caught out because of this 2-2 split, one of the things is it's not that common generally for the Phase 1 circle to have the teams that close together. Everyone's kind of heading in very central right now, whereas generally at this part of the game, people are quite spread out where having those 2-2 splits aren't as much of a risk. So this is potentially where we're going to see teams get a little bit more caught out if they decide to play those strategies because everybody is so close together.
True. Now, it's closing in. 1 minute and 45 seconds until we see Phase 2. Last crew, they're making their way into the circle. 2 members are in it from the north, from the northeast side, and then you have 2 members behind them outside the circle. ELGIG are spread across the north side between kind of the west and the east. You have 2 members on the west of water treatment, and you have 2 members on the east of water treatment down by the fields. So they have a nice bit of a comfortable area by themselves. Airstation Mike, they made their way a little bit more to the center circle, going for a 2-2 split. And InsideGames are down the south of them. Now Moon, Jokers, Noki looking for them. Moon gets away and says, no, look, it's not worth it for now. But we see BetterLuckNxTime are right near their side. So I don't think Jokers really know what they want to do at this stage of the game. As the Boom gets out of the vehicle, don't know if he knows that Kizik is there with those shots off. He's going to connect onto Boom. He can't get out of that vehicle and react quickly enough.
Yeah, KnorkiS, he was one of those players in our last game who we saw really pop off. And that was a risk because, you know, the rest of Jokers went down behind him. He could have ended up being shot from behind, but it did work out in his favor, especially with Arctics there to watch his back. So that is a good start there for BetterLuckNxTime, which is really what they're going to be saying to Jokers right now, having already lost a member of their team.
To the boom, BetterLuckNxTime.
Yeah.
Now I zoom. Connecting on to Zampeek. So the InsideGames, they made their way a little bit ahead in the circle. Maybe not keeping as much of an eye on the south side of where they are. And getting a little bit caught out as now InsideGames, they're down to 3 players. The circle has shifted up northwards. This is where the rotations are going to be key. Oh man, ELGIG, they're going to join together. Last Crew, they're going to make their way up north. Airstation Mike, they're going to shift through the east side of this circle. SEJK, it's connected on by Fate. That's going to be kill number 2 for BetterLuckNxTime, and kill number 2 on the Jokers by BetterLuckNxTime.
Certainly not a bad position for them to be in. And even when we look at their position on the map, also not bad. A rotation for them should not be too tough, especially if they want to wind their way around the north side of the circle where there aren't really many teams. In the meantime, KnorkiS is going to be connected upon by Quizzy. So that's not a great situation for ELGIGANTEN. And they were the team who were already sat in this circle. They could have taken any of these high grounds as they wish, but instead they decided to get involved in this engagement. KnorkiS is going to be put down by Snoopy. And the rest of the team, sort of ghostar's really far away. Marcelek and MOORPHEUS are over in a different compound. While, meanwhile, Unity, they're all kind of together.
Well, yeah, because ELGIG had that space on their own in that phase 1. They didn't react together, react quickly enough to stay together as a 4-man team. So they paid the price losing 1 member early on at the hands of Uni. However, Hockey, they connect on to Phantom of 3D Max via that rotation. So that's the thing. We're going to see a couple of these players caught out. Sending out those scouts, you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world on these hard shifts. I'm normally not a fan of a team having like a scout go ahead of them. But in this hard shift rotation, I don't disagree with it because, it's a bit of a sacrificial lamb kind of a situation for some of these teams. And it can pay off because it gives the information. It gives the intel as PG-18 rotate in from the west, heading up north.
Well, we've seen it from a couple of the teams, but right now, Arctic's trying to get some shots on, but PG-18 are going to be responding. Now, KnorkiS just trying to position himself. He's actually going to be getting in that vehicle there. Maybe make their rotation a little bit easier. But just to go back to what you were saying, Imperium, about kind of having that leader, something we've seen a number of these teams have in this map so far. Right now, we see Northern Lights doing it with Spiro up ahead. Yeah. We saw Double taking on that responsibility for MOOPHEUS, who have all kind of reconvened now. And earlier, we saw a similar thing with Airstation Mike. So it's certainly something that a lot of these teams are going for. Definitely. Even when we look down at Tempest, Hjort's kind of sat out on his own while Wookie Bookie leads the other two off in another direction. Because these teams are so close together, they do kind of rely on that scout to go forward because they can't they can't rely on the fact that where they decide to make their rotation will be open, because this may as well not be a phase 2 circle because people are so close together.
Yeah, that's very true. I do like the rotation coming out from Milky Way. Instead of heading more directly south, they've gone up towards the southeast direction, more towards the east, making a safe play to get into that circle. Really nicely done by them. They're going to have an open space, and because there's open fields more in the center of that circle, it means that if they can get that compound and it shifts in their direction, it's going to put them in a prime location to really put pressure on the teams around them. How's it going to shift? It actually shifts down to the southwest. San Martin is inside the circle. You've got open fields on the east side. It's going to put pressure. And then water treatment. Yeah. Nobody wants to go to water treatment and nobody wants to go to San Martin, because when you get into those and you have to go out of there, it's so tough to get out of those locations.
And there's also this long ridge of high ground where we're seeing team moves, seeing PG-18 as well. So the teams are really going to be vying to go for those areas, especially also where we see BetterLuckNxTime as well, who is, just happening to get a shot onto ghostar and now down onto team moves. We're also seeing some other engagements happen elsewhere on the map. Last Crew are really well positioned to be kind of taking on Airstation Mike. We're actually seeing some shots go onto them now as Airstation Mike make their rotation into the circle.
Could potentially catch out ghostar of ELGIGANTEN, but like you said, they're going to have to really kind of stay safe against Last Crew or popping shots into their direction. They are able to hold on to a couple of buildings just on the edge of the circle. It's better than where they were located earlier on, so I like it as Perfectix does get taken out by Arctics. Arctics is going to like that one as Northern Lights. They're in that building down below. They're going to have that intel. They're going to rotate away from them. Maybe head up northwards, but there's not too many open areas that they can head onto because PG-18, they have that compound on the north. It's going to be tough for them to kind of breach on, especially as they've lost one member already.
Northern Lights really been playing the rotation game, which, you kind of expect, but they kind of went on a big commute earlier, took a U-turn, came back, and now clearly where they've come back to hasn't worked out for them. They haven't been able to take on BetterLuckNxTime too successfully, so they're going to have to make another one. They're still receiving some fire from Arctics, but now we're having a look at PG-18. The Wanderer had to just heal himself up. They can see Northern Lights coming down the road. He's going to be relaying that information to the rest of his team, and in the meantime, he's going to be looking to actually get in a position where he can have some cover, maybe play from the back line somewhat, but they want to be getting these really key shots onto their opponents.
That's why PG-18 as a rest of the team instantly kind of dispersed out of that warehouse, spread their wings a little bit so they can find the angles and find the shots into Northern Lights. Northern Lights do get into that building in just about enough time, but the Wanderer connects onto the deep from high above. That's where the flank comes around. That's where the information really helps them. But you got to give credit to Kizik for BetterLuckNxTime helping Northern Lights by taking down the Wanderer. That's going to put PG-18 under a bit more of an alertive situation. But they do get the better of those two Northern Lights players for now. 2 more kills for them, but they do trade one player out.
I actually can't get over how well we're seeing BetterLuckNxTime play today, especially Kizik with Arctics by his side. This team that came in through open, really holding their own.
Look at that
now
shift.
There's new shifts. So we do avoid San Martin now, but we do have that corner of water treatment still in there. And it is so focused on that high ground ledge that I mentioned earlier where Team Moops are now stationed. And again, all of those teams are going to be looking to get in there because if they're caught in the low ground, that's going to be so dangerous.
It's going to be tough for QuickMap. They're on a 2-2 split for now. Milky Way are pushing in, but Unity are right there. DP gets taken out by Inukta because DP was on his own. That's going to alert Milky Way and say, it's not worth going in their direction. But they're being pinched by InsideGames down the south side of this circle. It is outside. A seniks, Odstrelovac, and Pixix there. InsideGames did lose one member early on, so they're down to 3. Airstation Mike have decided to rotate down the southeast side of the circle because it was just too hard to try and get through ELGIG and Last Crew. But what they don't know is they're heading into the path of Unity. And now Jazza gets taken out. ToWzErA gets taken out. It's going to leave fEJK and Hugstar on his own in the muscle car. Going to drive right into the path of the 2 members of QuickMap. I don't know if they're going to be able to react quickly enough. No, they don't. Northern Lights are eliminated in 16th place. Airstation might get taken down in 15th place. And that was just tough for Airstation Mike.
It's completely brutal, and it's so hard to predict those things. They had to make the rotation around. They had changed their mind as to which direction they were going to make. They turned around. They don't want to get caught in the blue. They have to come into the circle somewhere. And the fact is these teams are all occupying, of course, their own corners of this map, and they just go straight through the path, get thrown off their vehicles, and in that situation, what can you do? There was no cover for them to really help themselves out, and they were really at the mercy of 2 teams against them.
And you got to say, it was like ToWzErA and the other QuickMap player got a little bit lucky because if it had been the full squad of Airstation Mike, they most likely would have got the better of those 2 QuickMap players. But Either way, it worked out for Quick Math. They're still going to stay as a 2-2 split. Orange does connect onto one member of ELGIGANTEN. Unity holding on to the wet east side of the circle in that compound. We're seeing it drive through. The blue zone is closing in. We're going to see phase 5 soon enough. How's it going to shift?
This is really interesting seeing how InsideGames are coming up. Although I say that seniks gets knocked down by offstring of Milky Way. They were trying to come up through this center point between Quick Math and Milky Way. It's a really dangerous place to be. So now seniks, he's going to be lying down, and Odstrelovac's a little bit far away to be able to help him. And he's too out in the open. Yeah, I think you're right there. It's just not going to work out for them. And now we see Milky Way. They start to rotate away. So this could give InsideGames a little bit... Well, actually, no, I say that. They're also looking in a different direction. They've decided they want to stay where they are. And so this is just a difficult position. iZoom's actually going to be moving up quite close. Odstrelovac's trying to land these shots on, but in the meantime, Sakura's going to be knocked down by Alia.
And what's good for Milky Way is that the compound that the two members of Quick Math held onto as a grenade flies out, they've joined as a 4-man team. So that does give a compound free for Milky Way if they can get the better of InsideGames. seniks is still down, knocked down, losing health. Odstrelovac gets connected on by iZoom and his grenade. That's going to be InsideGames going out in 14th place now. Milky Way, I was going to say they can go into that compound, but that circle shifted up northwards. The decision by Quick Math to join as a 4-man team has gone in their favor. Water treatment, it's still inside circle. Last crew hold on to. Jokers are to the north. You have BetterLuckNxTime on the west side, but they're going to have to move away from their compound that they hold on to. YMCA, they're going to connect onto Arctics of BetterLuckNxTime. They're going to have to look behind them as last crew, trying to find PG-18.
Yeah, YMCA really looking like they're going to focus on a rotation right now as they get in their vehicles. But of course, if BetterLuckNxTime land those shots once again, that could halt that. But right now, seeing Tornado Energy, Compot, he's trying to land some nades onto Tempest. Enzo Lenzo is going to be knocked down by iZoom. So a pretty good day for Milky Way. But Compot, Wookie Bookie got the better of him, and then out come these nades as Melman starts to try and heal up his fallen teammate. But it looks like Tempest, they're not going to hang around for the fight. Instead, they're just going to be making their rotation. They are down in that south side. There's no reason for them to hang around outside of the circle.
No, and because shots were being fired by 3D Max, they recognize that, and they're going to head more towards the east side, down the south, as ELGIG and Unity, they trade out. Quizzy takes down Morpheus. They're breaching the compound that ELGIGANTEN held onto. What is the action? Can we get a trade-off? Tab connects onto YMCA of Kajuti as Tempest, they're pushing on forward, trying to push on through to Milky Way. Quick Math, they're a 4-man team. We're seeing action kick off all across this map. YMCA, BetterLuckNxTime, they get the better of them. YMCA are taken out in 13th place as iZoom. Milky Way takes down Pelsage, knocks him down, putting Quick Math down to 3 players. Man's an offstring in that little shack. Tempo Storm looking. Tempest, should I say. Apologies. And Clib just trying to find that angle.
So many nades going off here. It's going to be Milky Way who are falling to that gunfire from Tempest as well. Hanny moving up really close, but Moops doing something similar onto PG-18, who'll be going down in 12th place.
Wow.
And I mean, Team Moops, they have some great positioning right here. ELGIGANTEN's going to be joining them in the ground, but having this compound up here on this high ground is really great for them.
It really
so
is.
as these teams move in from the south, Tornado Energy, Tempest, they're going to be the ones going into that fire. And actually now another team going to be joining those dead 3D Max.
Indeed, and now as Milky Way and Quick Math, they fight against each other in the edge of the circle. We could see Tempest coming in on the third party. iZoom down to 7 health, gets taken out. Milky Way eliminated in 9th place, and ToWzErA gonna try and get revived up, keep Quick Math as a 4-man team. The circle shifted up northward. Last crew are on the north side on their own. You do have the TheTab Jokers there in his own. BetterLuckNxTime hold on to the west side. Unity, who starved off and pushed ELGIG in that compound, gonna make their way up northwards from the east.
Well, it's going to be Jokers who are the next to go down, but right now we're seeing Quick Math kind of be engaged upon by Tempest. Those nades are going to be getting those very key connections. But right now, not enough to bring the whole team down. In the meantime, Moob's actually doing pretty well with some of this gunfire. Hawkeye connecting onto Fate, and BetterLuckNxTime have been doing pretty well. But still, quick math, they're going to be feeling the pressure, as well as Last Crew from Unity. Not going to be too long. In fact, well, actually, they do still have 4 members up, but they really are feeling it.
Yeah, you see it in the picture-in-picture, those 2 team fights, but Bookie just waiting, trying to find PEL Stage. That's going to be quick map taken out, but what time has Tempest wasted because the blue zone, it's closing in. In the next 1 minute 40 seconds, we're going to see the next circle shift. Tornado Energy go out in 6th place. Last Crew and Unity, they're still kind of, you know, they're at a bit of a peaceful moment for now. Last Crew did lose 1 player, putting them down to just 2, aka Skills and Rip, just trying to hide behind those buildings that are inside water treatment.
And that is going to be a really difficult circle. Team Oops, they're desperately trying to hold on to this compound, but they are going to have to move in a little bit. But they don't want to be going down that dip and heading down to sit next to the road on that low ground. Tempest, wondering if they're going to get the loot drop. In fact, it doesn't look like it. They are. They're just trying to hold on to where they may have some cover down by this point. Oh, no, here we go. It's finally landed.
But they've got to be careful because Tempest are behind them. Tempest moving out of their compound that they've held onto for pretty much the whole game. There is an arm there. There's a suppressor. There's that level 3 vest and helmet. And that, well, they most likely have the backpack anyway, but the vest and the helmet is so important to keep yourself alive. And it's got to be also put on the right player. I know as a team, it's really important, but you get it onto that frontline player to keep himself alive for a little bit longer, absorb some of those bullets just a little bit more. And guess who has the AWM? Bookie, I'm not surprised.
No, but you are right there. I mean, when you think about first blood, first kill kind of ratios, you want the engaging player to be able to survive those out to have even better chances. But right now, KnorkiS looking like he may have fairly low chances, although I say that, and he manages to turn things around. Last Crew is going to be eliminated. BetterLuckNxTime showing us that their place in the standings right now maybe not all that deserved.
Oh, man, indeed. They're putting in their drive. They're putting in the work. Artix was able to provide cover for KnorkiS and get the shots off from a distance. He gets in that vehicle. Unity will be on alert because of that, right? And they're kind of pushing their way up northward where Last Crew are. Team Moops double connects onto Hawkeye, but KnorkiS returns fire to connect onto double right now. As BetterLuckNxTime, they do get taken out by both Team Moops and Unity. We're down to 3 teams: Tempest, Team Moops, and Unity. It's 4v3v4.
That's quite a lot. I mean, in our last game, we had 3 teams left and 5 players on the board. And now we have 3 teams left with 11 players on the board. It's just completely different. And you have this massive road going straight through the center of the circle. It's going to make it even harder.
Really? Unity are in prime position because they have the dip of the hill where they're on water treatment. Tempest trying to take advantage of Team Moops rotating, so it's going to go into favor of Tempest. Unity, they're just going to pop shots off in everybody's direction as Team Moops are eliminated by each other, actually, in fairness. And now we're going to see these 2 teams, Tempest and Unity. Both teams are just about inside the circle. Bookie is in that kind of hut on his own. He's going to be peeked off by a Nuktav. Fantastically done. The other 2 members of Tempest, they're outside the circle. It's going to be so tough for them to get in there. They might just try and find the knockdown. If they can get that first knockdown onto Quizzy, it might give them a bit of an opportunity, but there's still 3 other players of Unity.
I mean, it would be key, but you said it before, Unity are in the ideal position, and it would be so hard for the members of Tempest to help each other. Hanny's actually going to be lying down now. Now, maybe Hjort can get to him, but they are outside the blue as well. He's going to be feeling that pain, so he may just have to leave his teammate behind, potentially just deny those points to Unity, but I think we will be seeing a Unity chicken dinner right now, and there you go.
Unity, another win. Another bunch of kills, 12 in total. That rotation up north, where first of all they breached the compound that ELGIG were in, got the better of ELGIGANTEN. They then breached up north and put Last Crew under pressure outside water treatment. Last Crew couldn't handle BetterLuckNxTime, the 2-man team, and they got taken out. And that just gave an open season for Unity to just kind of peak shoot for the rest of the teams down south.
Yeah, they certainly had a great position to be in. So that's, the second game we've had today where they've ended up in the top 3. They did come third on our first Erangel game. But I mean, I mentioned it during the cast, Imperium, but I have to say it again. I was really impressed by BetterLuckNxTime. Actually, before this week started, when you looked at the average kill stats of the members of that team, it was actually Fate who would always be at the top. But now you just see Kizik and Artix running as this duo, and they are doing so well. I mean, Kizik's the one who's kind of getting the more kills, the more damage on those stats, but you always see Artix right by him, ready to watch his back, ready to support him when needed. And that is something that is invaluable in games like this, particularly in squads.
And when you talk about invaluable, like we saw in 2 games yesterday, nobody pushed onto the compound that Northern Lights had in those last 2 games. In this game, Unity pushed onto ELGIG. When there were still 11 teams left, put them to the ground. That gave them the advantageous position. So I hope that kind of makes teams realize a bit more that if you push through, get that compound breach, that it's a chain reaction where you can kind of, get that win in the end. So really nicely done by Unity. They got a load of points, and I'm hoping that it can just keep them up more in the standings as we see the results of that game.
So many 0 points
5
today.
Teams getting 0 points. And it's actually one thing really quickly when we touch upon, you're right. We've seen a lot of 0 points from these teams today. Yesterday, we actually had the lowest amount of 0 point results for these teams. Yeah. But it's quite the opposite today. Unity, 12 kills. 10 placement points, 22 in total.
Do you know what's just so funny looking at this? Tempest, Team Moves, BetterLuckNxTime, they're all sat in those bottom 4 spots, and they're taking, 3 of the top 4 spots in that game. That's actually really impressive to see.
And you do feel bad for BetterLuckNxTime on one hand because they're below Tempest, so it's kind of like, we need to get more points in Tempest, and it's like, we did, but we only got 2 more points, and it's like, okay. Or it's like we got 2 less points. It's just like, okay, well, all the effort, it's going to give us a bunch of points, and we haven't lost 12 points against Tempest, but we haven't gained more than Tempest.
Well, there we go. Looking at Unity compared to Tempest there. Unity only just kind of beating them out in the damage. We have seen some, wider margins to even just today. More kills on the side of Unity as well. And nearly double the match points as well, 22 over to the side of Unity. And there we go. There's some head-to-head stats between Innocutive and Hani. Innocutive with 414 damage, Hani with just 245. Not that there's anything to be sneezed at particularly, but, it kind of just goes to show how much work Innocutive does.
Exactly, and it's funny because in the group stage, between group stage and the finals, we did have Innocutive come in for Unity, and they struggled at the start, and me and James were kind of talking about was that a bad decision? Because we'd seen another roster change for PG-18, and it worked out for them straight away, right off the bat.
Yeah.
And we were worried that, okay, maybe it didn't work out for Unity, but coming into week 2, they found their groove, they found their synergy, and we're seeing them getting win after win, getting those high points. But that was the 3rd game of the day. We still have 2 more for you guys, another Miramar. Then going to end on Sandhawk. So don't go away, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.